are so happy to have you on with us because this movie is great. It's so much fun, but also very scary. We see all kinds of monster movies, ghost things, but this actually is people. This happened to people, and so you just think this is scarier than any monster movie, right?
It's real. Up
Yeah,
at night.
yeah. I don't know what I would do, especially in the '70s. So, you got no
Yeah,
phones.
there's no
Were you,
no cell phone.
yeah. What were you thinking about that? Like, what would I do in this situation?
Yes, but I'm a person. I am a more paranoid person when it comes to this stuff. I'm a quite small girl. I'm like 5'1" on a good day, so I feel like it's almost my responsibility to like be like super
Yeah,
cautious of things. But it's curious because I live in this day and age where like we are so aware and there's so much access to the news and information. We know this stuff is going on. And in the 70s, I just don't think they even thought this stuff happened. And so um I don't think I would have been thinking about it in the 70s, which is the craziest part.
yeah. And it's and these days are long. The sets are crazy. People you grow up thinking, oh, wouldn't it be great to be star in a movie? And then sometimes it's harder than people think, right?
It is very hard. I mean, I love my job so much, but I don't think it's for the weak at all. I remember a few years ago I was filming a night shoot. So my call time was 4 p.m. and I was gonna be there until 7 a.m. And my dad was visiting me in Atlanta and he came to set and he tapped out at 1 a.m. And the next day he like set me down. He's like, Breck, you're working a big girl job. You work really hard. And it was so because my dad's a freaking farmer. So to have a farmer tell you that like acting is a hard job, I was like, that feels good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what kind of advice do you give to those that are looking up to you, going, "See, that's what I want to do." Because you make it look easy.
Oh gosh, just to go for it. I know that's like it sounds cliche, but I think even as I've gotten older, I've sensed myself doing this more, but like talking myself out of like going for it. And it's like you never know if you don't try. And like the worst thing that happens is you try and it doesn't work, but at least then you know. So I was always just like, you might as well try. Always.
Yeah,
Whatever, how silly or big your dream is, go for it.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of that, my co-host Drew Pearson, one of our great Dallas Cowboys, caught the Hail Mary, went in the Hall of Fame. We're so proud of him. Yeah, and
Oh,
so
lit.
he wanted me to make sure I asked you your Hail Mary moment, which is that moment in your life or career where you just had to go for it and it worked out.
Oh, I have a perfect answer.
All right.
Um, I was up for a really big Amazon show, and it was between me and this other girl. And this role was written for me. It was a girl based in Texas. Um, who like grew up doing pageants and like but like was outdoorsy like me it to a T. I didn't get it. And I was heartbroken. And I was like so heartbroken where I was like, I'm quitting acting. I'm gonna go to college. And then I get an audition and I'm just over it. My agents are like, you you need to go to this audition. I'm like, fine, whatever. Do it. I get a call back. I don't even like look up what it is. I'm just like so overacting at this point. I book a trip to the Bahamas because when you're sad, go to the Bahamas. Well, they tell me I'm in the final four for this role, and I need to screen test for it. So screen test three, like go in and sign the contract. And I tell my agents, I'm like, nah, I'm going to the Bahamas. Tell them sorry, like I'm gonna go and do the screen test and not even get it, so it doesn't matter. And they're like, Breck, change your trip. Don't. I'm like, fine. I go. It's for Stargirl. Go in, do the audition. I immediately go to the airport after the screen test. And like before I leave the car, I'm like at LAX. I get a phone call from an LA number and it's Jeff Johns, who was like the showrunner of Stargirl. And he was like, hey, I know you're headed out of town, but before you get on that plane, I needed to let you know you're our Stargirl. And that was my Hail Mary. I liked it. Because I was so upset and I was so emotional. And I just felt like nothing was going to work out, but I was like, fine, like this is my dream. I'll change my flight. I'll eat the money, like whatever. And it was the best decision I ever made.
That's wonderful. Well, what do you keep in mind that keeps you on that right path even when things are tough?
So, uh, probably I really focus on just like not focusing on the things that are out of my control. That's something I just like constantly go back to. It's so easy to like worry about these things. And once I like, if I just go and do my best, I can't control anything else outside of that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's well said. Well, we hope to get you back in Dallas again, if not for this screening coming up in Dallas, hopefully very, very soon.
Yeah, well, I'm here on and off. I like live in Texas most of the time, so we'll have
Wonderful.
to
Well, good.
pick up at some point.
Wonderful. All right. We'll see you again soon. Thank you
Thank you,
so
Paul.
much. And thanks for coming back on for that Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.